Bellwork 21A, question number 1, part 2. You've already completed steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1 was to find the scale factor, 2 was to find points P prime, Q prime, R prime, and then 3 was to actually plot and label those points. Now, I didn't label all 3 because that was something you were supposed to do on your own, but I do have P prime and P here to look at because we need to look at those points to examine the orientation, and examining the orientation is step number 4. So if I look at P prime and I look at P, the points are across from one another. So they have an opposite orientation. And when there's an opposite orientation, that means a reflection has occurred. By knowing that this is an opposite orientation, I know that a reflection has occurred. So if a reflection has occurred, I need to figure out, was that reflection over the x-axis or was it over the y-axis? So go ahead, pause your video and get everything written down here that I have written down. Okay, so we're going to examine P and P prime. P, the ordered pair for P is -2, -2, and P prime is -2, 2. So if we look from x to y, from each x coordinate, from the x coordinate from P to P prime, it stays the same. So the x coordinate doesn't change, it's just x. But when you look at your y coordinates, it went from -2 to +2, which means it is the opposite of y. So the reflection is x stays the same and then the opposite of y. Well, if you remember from the notes, when you have a reflection over the x-axis, the x stays the same and you take the opposite of y. A reflection over the y-axis means that the y stays the same and you take the opposite of x. Since the x stays the same here, this is going to be a reflection over the x-axis. So make sure you get down that this is a reflection over the x-axis. Okay, so what was the sequence of transformations that occurred in this problem? Well, we know that there was a dilation and we know there was a reflection. So to go from PQR to P prime, Q prime, R prime, there was a reflection over the x-axis. And then to go from P prime, Q prime, R prime to P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime, there was a dilation with a scale factor of 4. So step 5 is our final answer, and our final answer is the sequence of transformations included a reflection across the x-axis followed by a dilation with a scale factor of 4. Again, the sequence of transformations included a reflection across the x-axis followed by a dilation with a scale factor of 4. Okay, so that is it for question number 1. If you have any questions, please let me know.